have here James Jalbert, pilot of a B-17 in the South Pacific. James, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I actually was a pilot of a B-24.
Pardon me.
Oh,
that's how much I know.
Well, I was born here up the river a little ways in Fort Kent. And then when the war started, I joined the Air Corps in 1942.
Wow.
Bob Blighty was a pilot, and he came home on leave and talked me into joining the Air Force. And I did, and I had one hell of a time.
I can believe that.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Now, what kind of missions did you fly, James?
We generally flew, for instance, Rabaul was the big bastion, Japanese bastion in New Britain Island.
Yeah, I remember reading and hearing about it.
And went there often. And various infrastructure, railroads. And in the Battle of Leyte Gulf, we did the remnants of the Japanese fleet that had not been damaged by our forces. We went after them, and that was a lot of fun too.
What altitude were you bombing at? Do you remember?
We didn't have any oxygen, so we generally bombed at around 10 to 11,000 feet.
Wow, that was close to the anti-aircraft stuff, wasn't it?
We were right in the anti-aircraft, 40 millimeter, 90 millimeter, and 120 millimeter. Wow. We were in the anti-aircraft all the time.
You told me of a successful mission you had once. That you were all endangered, your whole crew.
Oh, well, they wanted to bomb the refinery, knock out the Dutch refinery in where the Japanese got their oil in Borneo.
Wow. Which
was an 18-hour mission. Now, the fighter planes, the P-38s, couldn't get there because it's too far. So they were going to invade Moritai Island for an advanced base for the P-38 fighters. But 25 miles from Moritai was a big Japanese base at Galila. Now that runway had to be knocked out so that the Japanese Betty bombers and fighters wouldn't attack our invasion forces.
Oh, wow.
Because a lot of Americans would have got killed. So 6 of us took off. I was the last guy to take off. And shortly after takeoff, we got into weather. And once in a while, I would see one up ahead of me. Now, when we got to we didn't have a rendezvous point because we were in weather. But when the ETA, the time when you're supposed to go to the target, ran out, we don't know, but 4 of the other bombers got in the weather and went back home. You have that choice. If the weather's too bad, you can turn around and go home. But we don't know that. So when we got to the ETA, we went down through the clouds and broke through at 8,500 feet, directly over the aerodrome.
Wow.
And it was intact. So we knew that the 5 planes before us did not hit the target.
Wow.
We were immediately pummeled by anti-aircraft fire, and we had to go out a ways to make an approach for the bomb run. Well, as we're on the bomb run, number 3 engine was shot out. Now, when you get an engine shot out, you go home.
Yeah, about time,
But
you know.
it's only my second mission, and I'm flying co-pilot for a co-pilot who has never flown first pilot. So here's 2 stupid guys, too dumb to go home. Well, the runway wasn't knocked out, and we were intent on knocking out the runway. So we proceeded nonetheless with 3 engines, and 3 of our 1-ton bombs went out and made holes probably as big as this building in the runway and damaged some of the bombers. But the 4th one hung up, 4th bomb. And I could see that on the panel because the yellow light only blinked 3 times. So dumb us. Go around on 3 engines to drop that 4th bomb. Now my bombardier is green. He's only been, this is just his second mission. And so we go around all the time in the flak. And one shell just damaged one of the rudders, and part of the front left wing was torn out about 4 feet. I mean, we had holes all over the place. Anyway, we make the 4th bomb run and drop that bomb, head home. Now, we hit the worst weather I've ever seen in my life. We go in there and it's pitch dark. You can't even see the inboard engines.
Wow.
And this co-pilot can't fly instruments. When you go through bomber training, you learn how to fly instruments. But he hadn't had that training. And so he stalled out. I recovered. The instruments over in front of him. I have to look over there. Well, anyway, we hit a downdraft that was so severe that we dropped from 8,500 feet in one drop with no airspeed indicated, 0. I mean, it only indicates down.
In other words, you were falling, so you had some airspeed.
And he's frozen on the airplane. So I shoved the wheel all the way to the wall. Get the airplane like this, still not indicating any airspeed. We dropped from 8,500 down to 200 feet before we come out of it.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, we got home and the plane was so badly shot up, nobody's seen a plane shot up like that before. So everybody comes up and we got there an hour ahead of the other guys because they came home right away. So the outfit thought we were shot down. So they all come up to the runway. We came limping in on 3 engines. The ceiling is at 100 feet, so we can't make an approach. We just flew under the clouds, lowered the gear, and touched the runway. So they all came up to the runway seat because they'd never seen a plane that badly shot up before. So,
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
In a flight like that can be kind of hard on the underwear. Wouldn't you say?
Listen, you can't even think, you know. Anyway, the commanding general of the Far East Air Forces, Total Air Force and Pacific, sent a letter to my mother because we were all awarded a Medal for Valor, the whole crew.
The whole crew, wow.
Yeah, but the people who deserved it are not the pilot and co-pilot. It's everybody else on the crew because we put their lives in danger.
Yes,
you
guys were kind of responsible.
We should have got a medal for stupidity, but they don't have one for that, so they give you a medal for valor.
Well, that's very good.
And so they don't have a...
Hang on. Thanks, James, for sharing. We're going to stop it for now.
Sorry.
Cut it off. Edmund in the cockpit of the B-17. Wow. It's not working too good.
Excuse me, sir. You guys, the ladder. Come out here. You can get a picture of him sitting in the pilot seat. If you're interested in that. Where's that? He's sitting right in the pilot seat.
Right angle is even better. Hey, Edmund!
Probably get a better view of it from here. Between the engines right there.
Edmund! Can't hear us.
I know.
Major Terrio.
He doesn't hear it.
There he is, wave!
Say, do it again.
There you go. Hey.
Wonderbar.